I'm a relationship coach and a matchmaker. I'm also a badass psychic. I have the gift of discerning spirits, the gift of prophecy, the gift of knowledge, the gift of wisdom. And my desire is to help people discover their values, their strengths, what they're passionate about, their mission, their vision. That's what I'm passionate about. So this show is going to be like a combination of my storytelling, like true stories, and some inspiration, some motivation, wisdom, little nuggets, kernels of wisdom, things I've learned, that kind of thing. This is anointing oil, by the way. It's been blessed by a preacher, pastor. I do appreciate everybody here. A little bit more about me before I start. I am an ENTJ personality type. So if you guys go to Google Image, or even better yet, Pinterest, you can look up ENTJ. It stands for extroverted, intuitive, thinking, judging. My dad, like my biological dad, so I have two families because I was adopted, but my biological dad is an INTJ. So he is pretty much, he's similar to me, but our functions are really different. So he's an introverted, so he's an introvert, in, intuitive, thinking, so T, and then J, judging. The nickname is Commander, CEO for ENTJ. INTJ is the scientist or the inventor. Yeah, INTJs are really quirky. But all right, I'm gonna back out of here and then we're gonna start. Let's get out of here real quick. Yeah, I don't use my what do you call it? I don't use my mirrors or my camera system. I would rather physically look behind my car than rely on the camera system. God forbid my camera system be blocked by some kind of mud or rain, rainwater or something. So anyways, so what to say, what to share with you guys. Like I said, I'm grateful for you guys here in my chat room. So a little bit about me. I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I'm a lover, I'm a poet. I play music. I don't really know how to play music. People think I'm a professional musician, but and professional singer, and I really have zero experience. I've never even taken guitar lessons or singing lessons. Hi Maddie, I like your name. So yeah, back to what I was saying to you guys. I think we could do anything we put our minds to. I think it's important we keep our feet on the ground and keep plugging ahead one step like this, one step at a time. There's like so many things I could share with you guys. It's like I don't even know where to start. I mean, like I want to, like, I'm writing a memoir right now, so like an autobiography. So many different aspects and facets. I mean, I was adopted. I was in the United States military. I went into the military to be an officer. What else? I was in student council. I absolutely loved student council. I was in the DARE program. I am a big supporter of 12-step programs. Hi, welcome to my chat. I'm a big supporter of 12-step programs. So AA, meaning Alcoholics Anonymous, NA, Narcotics Anonymous, CA, Cocaine Anonymous, Al-Anon. I would highly, highly recommend 12-step to anybody. I think I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I think it's better than regular therapy. Now, I am not promoting, like, I'm not saying that it should be a substitute for therapy, although I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My personal opinion, okay, this is my opinion. I believe that 12-step is better than therapy. Better than therapy. If I had to choose between the two, I would hands down, for the entire world, I would choose 12-step. Straight up. I wish I had done Al-Anon. So you may wonder what Al-Anon is. So Al-Anon is a program for people that are involved with an alcoholic or has a family member that's an alcoholic. I think that's quite limited. I'm going to be honest. I think that Al-Anon, to me, it's more like if you're in a relationship with somebody or have a family member that's mentally ill or addicted to drugs or alcohol. So that is how I see Al-Anon, and that's spelled A-L-A-N-O-N. There are programs all over the world in terms of Al-Anon. It's like a big family all across the whole entire world. The same thing with AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. But I honestly think it's better than therapy. And if I had to choose, I would stop therapy if I had to, and I would choose 12-step hands down. I would go to 12-step meetings all day long. There's so much wisdom and so much stuff. It's absolutely beautiful. So beautiful. All right, let me think what else. I discovered Al-Anon in 2008 after I had a near-death experience in 2007. So I was living in Burlington, Vermont in 2007, and I think I had been in Vermont at that time for about 8 months. So 8 months into my stay into Burlington, or my move, my relocation, I went to college in Vermont, which was like 20 minutes from New York. I'm originally from the South. My family's from California. I was born in California. One of my families. I've got two families because I was adopted. But I was raised in the South, so I'm a Southern boy. All right, and that's the other thing. If you guys are new to my channel and you don't know me, I was born a hermaphrodite. So my biological parent has the same condition. It's called ovotesticular disorder. That's OTDSD. Once again, OTDSD. So I was born with ovaries and testicles. It's a hermaphroditism. I grew up knowing that my parent has that same exact condition. It is hereditary. I do meet with a geneticist. I meet with the director of the genetic foundation. They do all the genetic testing in Seattle, Washington. So I have regular sessions with the top, the director of that organization. But yeah, so trying to think. Yeah, I moved to Vermont in 2006. And best experience of my entire life. I could go on and on about my college experience. My class sizes were small. Like I had like 5 to maybe like 5 to 8 people per class. And the teachers encouraged us to challenge them. So I learned how to critical think in Vermont. Now, growing up in the South, we weren't taught to critical think. We were taught to, we were taught to not question anything. It was the complete opposite. Like, don't question what we teach you. Don't question what, authority, like anything like that. We were not allowed to question anything. You just do what you're told. So when I went to Vermont, I found myself. I discovered my values, my beliefs, my core identity. I became a super, super hard worker. I had the nourishment, I had the environment in Burlington, Vermont, that I needed to grow. Nice to meet you guys. The things that I needed to develop and individuate and all that stuff, it all happened in Vermont. And it was incredible. My artistic abilities, my intellectual ability, philosophical, all of that stuff, it came out because I was in soil. I was in a positive environment, a supportive environment. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, I had this near-death experience. So 8 months after I moved to Vermont for college, near-death experience happened. That was the end. That was October, November, December 2007. And then in 2008, I started writing my books. I was so inspired. And I found Al-Anon in 2008. You know, I've been in Al-Anon for a long time. There's pros and there's pros and cons to Al-Anon. I'll say that. There are a lot of psychotic people in Al-Anon, like psychopathic, narcissistic-y type energy. It's 90% women in that program. Whereas AA is like, I would say AA is 60% men, 40% women. 60 or even 70% men in Alcoholics Anonymous. And then NA is right in the middle. It's like NA, Narcotics Anonymous, is 50-50. But yeah, trying to think what else I could share with you guys here. So I'm headed to get some food right now. I've been eating salads, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of salads. I'll be real with you guys. They're really hard for me to eat. All the green stuff, it just doesn't taste very good. But I have to do it because it's healthy, and I like to eat healthy. I've been working out on the treadmill too lately. But what else can I share with you guys? We just want to be in the present every day, every moment. Learn from our mistakes, be calm. Like, imagine a box, like you're centered. You want to be centered. What people say about you, what people say to you is a reflection of them. Like, it's about them. So if people are mean, it's never about you. It took me a long time to realize that. I learned that in Al-Anon. So Al-Anon calls it, quote, detachment. Detachment and surrender. It took me years to finally get it. And I had to move away from my family, basically the toxicity, in order to realize that. So the way people treat you guys is a reflection of where they're at in their consciousness. It's easy to take things personal. 111 on the clock right now. Anybody that's into angel numbers, but yeah. It's easy to take things personal, but it's never about you. If somebody's mean, that's a direct reflection of that person. It means that they're highly insecure. So just don't take it personally. You have to know your worth. You have to know yourself. You need to know your direction, have a vision. It's really important to have a vision in life. And I highly encourage you guys to use Pinterest. Go to Pinterest.com and you can see my Pinterest on my YouTube. So I do have a lot of boards that are private, I'll be honest with you guys. But there's enough boards on there. You guys can get some inspiration. And I would encourage you to start your own Pinterest board for like health, family, health. Like, you could do different things like on your Pinterest, different areas of your life, organizing, decluttering, like organizational tips, stuff like that on Pinterest. Yeah, so I know some of you guys probably want to know like what it was like for me when I was growing up. I was a very independent child. I had a lot of energy, exuberant. I was always a leader growing up. Trying to think. Always did the right thing. I was always like encouraging people to stay away from alcohol, stay away from drugs. I never let that stuff into my area, into my world. I took care of most of the neighborhood kids at a young age. So my dad was gone long hours, working. My dad was a teacher for 25 years. So I was adopted. Let me say this again, folks. I was adopted, so I'm talking about my adoptive dad. I'm not referring to my biological. So my adoptive dad that raised me had multiple businesses. And so he was gone all the time. My dad was like, he would be like, he taught for 25 years. So he had his master's degree, or master's of science or whatever, in teaching. He was a science teacher. And he was gone, I mean, all day at school. Then he'd get home, and then after he'd get home, he'd like take a shower, and then he would leave to go do his multiple businesses. So I was in charge of running the house. I am single, yeah, but I'm not interested. I appreciate it though. Anyways, so my dad was only home for like an hour, and then he would leave, and I was in charge of the entire house. So I was in charge of running the house, I was in charge of cleaning the house, I was in charge of who came in the house, and I didn't let any drugs in, I didn't let any alcohol in the house, like, but I took care of all the neighborhood kids. And so they all came to my place. Like, I'd say about, if I had to describe, I'd say probably 5 to 8 kids at any given time. And I mean, I took them, like, so my dad, we had like 6 vehicles. My dad had a brand new Mercedes-Benz. My dad made really good money. And so I took the Mercedes-Benz to school. Like, my dad, I drove it to school, and then I took the neighborhood kids in the Mercedes-Benz, and I'd buy them clothes, like socks and fucking like underwear and shit, dude. I know it sounds weird, but I mean, like, you know, I fed those kids. Like, they came from kind of scruffy ass families. Like most of these kids had like mentally ill parents. So they came to my place. We would go to the mall. I'd feed them. I'd buy them whatever they, you know, clothes, socks, whatever they needed. And that was like, you know, my family, I guess, because my dad was always gone. I saw my mom, like, growing up. I can't even remember how many times. I think I was there half the week or something. Like, half the time at my mom's house. Bro, I'm not gonna marry you. You don't even fucking know me, and I'm not interested. I'm also a man. I'm not gay. I'm a heterosexual, hermaphrodite, intersex man. I was born with ovaries and testicles. I'm not into that shit. Okay, so anyways, what I was saying is that, so I'd go visit my mom, like, I think like half the week I'd be with her. And that was in the country. So my dad lived in the city, my mom lived in the country. And when I was at my mom's, I'd play in the creeks. I'd play with Matchbox cars and Legos. I loved my Legos, my castles, I loved like the horses and castle type stuff. And I'd spend a lot of time in the tree house. So I had a tree house, like up in the tree, literally. And you know, so I hung out up there. I read a lot, listened to music. I had a lot of friends growing up. So I had about, I'd say at any given time, I probably had like 6 friends in rotation since the moment I was little. And there were boys and girls. I just want to be clear on that. It was like half and half, girls and boys. So I'm trying to think. You know, my mom, we had a hidden room in the house. It was a bookshelf, and the bookshelf, so my stepdad built our house, and it was a show home. I don't know if you guys know what a show home is, but basically we invited the entire community into our house. So like people would get ideas for, like, my stepdad built $1 billion houses. He had his own company. My stepdad was also a business owner. So we had people coming in our house looking at every crevice and every nook and everything. But one of the things that my stepdad built was a room, like in the Holocaust period. So all the people, you know, when they'd come over and I'd have friends come over, we'd hang out and we'd go in the bookshelf. Like, we'd pull it out of the wall and everyone's like, oh, dude, that's so cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'll be honest. It was fun. We had a dance floor as well, in our house, like a wooden dance floor with an entire, like, you know, you could serve, you know, whatever. I don't drink alcohol. I'm very against alcohol, but you could serve, you know, food and stuff, and all that. So that was pretty interesting. I was always afraid of storms growing up. So my bedroom was on the top floor, and we lived in a really huge house in the country, and you could hear the winds wrestling. The winds outside were like they were howling and wrestling, and I was creeped out. Growing up, I was terrified because the trees would snap. You'd hear the branches snapping and stuff, like the lightning bolts. It creeped me the hell out. At my mom's house, because my mom lived in the country. My dad, again, he lived in the city. So I'm trying to think what else here. We had bonfires a lot. We had campfires. I've always loved bonfires and campfires. You know, we'd make marshmallows and all that stuff. We went sledding. I sledded a lot. My favorite sled was a racer sled. I don't know if you guys know what a racer is. It's when you lay on your stomach. It's kind of like a bobsled, and so it has a way to move it, to direct it. You know what I'm saying? You could you steer it. It's like a little boomerang looking steering wheel. And so racer sled, or whatever you can call it, I used to lay on my stomach and race that dang thing. I liked racing, by the way. Anything racing. Dirt biking. I probably would have been a demolition derby driver, you know, like race driver. I definitely would have done motorcycle racing. If I had been exposed to these things, I would have done all that. I would have. I mean, in retrospect, you know, thinking back, like, yeah, dirt bike, motorcycle, all that stuff. I rode horses a lot. Our neighbors had horses. One time I rode the horse. My mother and I were riding the horse, and we were next to the bank. So we were next to the river, and the horse got spooked by the sound of the water, and it bucked me off into midair, and all I remember was staring at a hoof above my head. I'm gonna say this again, like it heard the water and it got scared, and it put me in the air, like, I don't know, 5 feet into the air. Like, it put me so far up in the air, and I remember looking up and seeing its huge hoof in front of my face. And I pissed myself, man. My mom starts cracking up. She cannot stop laughing. But I literally peed myself in midair because I'm just saying, like, yeah, man. And the horse ran off. I don't know where the horse went, but I was probably like 11 to 13 years old when this happened. Second time I've been bucked off a horse. So I got bucked off when I was 5 and 6 years old. And when I was 5 and 6 years old, the horse had like a wound on its ass. And a fly, I was with my mom again. Yeah, again, what coincidence, and the fly got into the horse's ass wound or whatever, you know, and it bugged me off. I was 5, 6 years old. I mean, I never got hurt. This is what's awesome, is like, I never got hurt on either horse, even though I got bugged like 5 feet in the air. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I mean, honestly. So, I rode horses a lot growing up. I think I rode horses every freaking week, actually. I'll be honest, if I had gone to the boarding school I almost went to, I probably would have done equestrian. So my dad, if he had not passed away, I would have gone to a boarding school, like a very, very prestigious private boarding school. But I found my dad dead, and that's a whole nother story. I'm not gonna get into that, but I would have done like equestrian and fencing. I don't know if you guys know what fencing, but it's swords, like where you sword fight or whatever. Yeah. I was good at spelling bee in school. I got straight A's. I had perfect attendance. I'm trying to think, like, anatomy was my favorite class in college. Of every class, I loved anatomy. I got 107% in that class. I also got like 107% in keyboarding, like computer. I was the fastest typer in my entire class. The highest score. I got a computer when I was, hold on. It's when the first year it came out or something. I got a computer. I had AOL. AOL.com, and I think I was like 8 years old, yeah, or something like that. I don't know. I spent a lot of hours on the computer in chat rooms. I don't know if you guys know what chat rooms are, but I was like 8 or 9, 10, 11. I was in those chat rooms talking to people all over the world when I was a kid. What else can I teach you guys, tell you guys? I operated a club when I was 8 years old. So I hired my neighborhood kids. I taught them values. I taught them how to work. You know, they were like 8 years old, 9. Well, some of them were a little bit younger, but, you know, I taught them, like, they had to guard the clubhouse. So we had fake guns, you know, like rifles and shit. Yeah. So I had 2 on each side of the door, and then we were doing work inside the club, like organizing, cleaning, like putting the books, you know, we had to organize the books. We had to organize everything in there. And so I taught them all that stuff, like how to do that, how to work hard, taking turns, being fair with each other. Yeah, AOL, you got mail. Exactly. I was trying to think what else. I respected my grandfather. So I saw my grandfather quite a bit, a few times a year. My grandfather lived like 2 hours away from my adoptive family. So we would always go see my grandfather for the holidays. He was a Master Chief Sergeant, like the highest rank in the United States Air Force. And he was so proud of his career as an Air Force man. I think he's like 30 to 39 years in the military. I don't know. I know it was over 30 years in the military. But he taught me integrity. You know, he'd always say, do the right thing when no one else is watching. My grandfather was all about ethics, morals, principles, and integrity. Now, my grandmother was an ornery little thing. I'm talking about my adoptive grandmother. You said your hair looks amazing. You're very handsome. Thank you. My adoptive grandmother was ornery. I describe her as stubborn and feisty and argumentative. She was loyal as hell, though. Oh my gosh. That woman, like, she was like a soldier's wife. I'll tell you that right now. People say I look just like her. If you guys saw pictures of her, they called her Ginger. I look just like my grandmother. But yeah, she's stubborn like I am. She's sassy like I am. She's, I mean, I would not say that I'm argumentative. You know, some people may disagree. I like debate. I think that debate and arguing is not the same thing. I like to debate about, I like to, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But, I mean, she was steely, man. She was small. I'll say this. My grandmother was small. Like, she was little. Like, she was, like, skinny and stuff. But when she set her mind to something, dude, you could not sway that woman. Like, she was super, super, you know, just really a fighter is how I describe it. I'm trying to think what else. Got a troll. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. My grandmother worked really hard. My grandpa worked really hard. My family was a Southern Baptist. So very moral, very ethical, hardworking is how, again, I describe them. They went to church every week. My adoptive family, so, you know, my grandparents, daughter. My mom, my adopted family, the first 6 years of my life were very pure. Very, very pure. My mom and my dad, I had 2 siblings. They're much older than me. These 2 siblings, they were born in the early 70s. They're much, much older than me. And so they're biological. So I was adopted, but they are biological kids. Okay. My first 6 years of my life were fucking awesome. I'll be honest. I was a happy, independent, cheerful, exuberant, strong-willed, sassy-ass, badass child with a lot of friends. I had probably like 5 or 6 friends at any given time. I was teacher's pet. I was straight A student, perfect attendance. I was a leader. I was shy. Now, I will say, this is what's interesting. I was a shy child, except, okay, listen to this, except in terms of, like, performance. So when I could be on a stage, and I was never shy. Meaning, like, I won all kinds of, what do you call it? Theater, like art contest, science contest, any kind of contest, I would always win it, and I had confidence. I was never shy when it came to competition and competence and confidence. Never. But I was shy when it came to my peers. Somewhat. It depends on the situation. Depends. Man, you guys could do a fucking case study on me. I could just see it. I could see somebody be like, oh, this is interesting. Let's do a case study on Maverick, the hermaphrodite. I am a hermaphrodite, yes. Yes, I was born male and female, like my biological parent, with ovaries and testicles. I attribute that to a lot of my success in life. It was because I was born differently. But yeah, when it came to peers, it's like, I think about my peers, and I'll be honest, these trifling fucking motherfucker. I mean, a lot of my peers were like insecure as fuck, dude. And they'd be bullying people and shit. That's the one thing though, it's like, I was shy socially in certain areas. And I think it's because they thought, people would say, oh, you're a teacher's pet. Like, a lot of people, I don't know why that was the case. I got, people gave me a hard time about being straight A student, being like, I wasn't, being perfect attendance. I don't know. It's just insecure people. So I don't know what that was all about. But I loved my teachers. I spent more time with my teachers than my peers. I was in advanced algebra. In 9th grade, I was in 10th and 11th grade. I was 1 and 2 grades ahead in algebra. So I was in 10th and 11th grade algebra when I was in 9th. And then when I was in 10th grade, I was in 11th and 12th grade algebra. I finished all of my 4-year requirements for math in 2 years. And I got up early to do that, by the way. So school started at, school started at 8 a.m., but I had school at 5 a.m. every day. I'm not just 5 a.m. every morning for 2 years, but I finished math 2 years early. Like algebra. I really loved algebra, by the way. I had a weird thing though. If I messed up on my paper, I would have to rip it up and start over. So let me tell you guys that again. I'm going to say that again. It's a little weird of me, but if I messed up, like with my pencil, or if anybody wrote on my paper, oh my God, dude, that was not good. If a teacher or anybody even touched my paper, like with their pencil and wrote on my paper, I would restart the entire paper. I'd rip it up and I'd write everything. I'd copy it all over again. I don't know why I did that. I have no idea. Like, psychologically, I can't understand why I did that. We had lockers in my high school. I loved having a locker. At my military. We're not talking about my military service. Not right now. Okay. My middle school had lockers too. I loved having a locker. Yeah, that was pretty cool. One time I slipped on a banana peel in middle school and in the cafeteria, and I had an entire plate. I was going through the line and I had an entire plate, and I literally fell, slipped on the fucking banana peel in front of the whole cafeteria. It was embarrassing. It was like, yeah, that's all I can say. Trying to think what else. I hated eating around people, and I don't know where that comes from. I can't understand it. I think it was like my mom. Yeah, I think it was because of my mom always saying shit. Oh yeah, that was it. She's like, you're so weird. Why aren't you like other kids? Like, my mom wanted me. Okay, first of all, I was born a hermaphrodite, and she tried to make me a fucking girl. Like, my mom tried to make me a female, and I fucking ripped my Barbie dolls' heads off. I ripped their heads off. I mean, I played with G.I. Joes, Matchbox cars, and Legos. Like horse Legos with castles, like. And so my mom tried to make me a girl. She tried to put pink ribbons in my hair. She tried to make me wear pink dresses. She'd be like, why are you so dirty? Why? Because I'd go and play in the dirt, man. I'd play in the creek. I'd catch crawdads. I had toy guns on me. Like, I had toy swords and stuff. Like, anyway, I don't know where I'm going with all that. I don't know. It's just like, yeah. I'm trying to think what else I would share with you guys. Like I said, my friends were boys and girls, all, you know, all ages. Like, just trying to think. Thinking about school. Oh yeah, the banana peel. Yeah, if I had done band, I would have done. Okay, by the way, I was always attracted to flute chicks, and this stands. This stand. Okay, to this day, I'm gonna just tell you guys, I have always had a thing for girls that played the flute. As a man, as a straight heterosexual man, just letting you guys know. Now, for band, I would have done guitar and drums. Like, if I could pick any instrument, what I would have played is guitar and drums. And vocals. I forgot the vocals. Yeah. Just saying. But, what else? What else can I say to you guys? Like I said, I loved math. I liked science class too. Science was cool. I liked art. Oh my God. I spent hours after school in the dark room. So my high school had a dark room. What that is a photography studio. And the dark room was so awesome. Oh my gosh. I'd spend like 3 hours in the dark room. And I won a bunch of photography contests. My art was really good. Just natural. I'm a natural artist. But what else? Oh yeah. If I could change things, I would have not done sewing and cooking. I don't know how that happened. I would have done automotive class. I'm just going to be real with you guys. On a 1 to 5 scale, cooking was a 0. Sewing was a 0. I fucking hated it. I don't know why the hell. It never even occurred to me why I did not sign up to do cars. I would have loved to work on cars. What was I thinking? So that's that. I won a shoot the hoops contest for the state of Indiana. Yes, I won. I was really, really good at free throws and 3-pointers. I had massive strength. I won a physical presidential award, like Bill Clinton. Like, I got it signed by Bill Clinton, called the Presidential Physical Fitness Award. And again, that's because I'm a hermaphrodite. I am single, but I'm not interested. All respect, bro. Yeah, so that's why I won these contests, because I was born differently. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So I won the sit-up contest also. And yeah, I don't know. I liked basketball a lot. I played basketball in school. I mean, Again, I wish I had gone to the boarding school my dad would have sent me to. If he did not pass away, I would have gone to this elite, prestigious, private boarding school. And I wanted to go because of the horses, man. I wanted to learn equestrian, like skills and fencing. I wanted to play with swords at the boarding school. So I never got to do any of that. Just saying. I'm trying to think what else. We had a dog that looked like a mop. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. That dog, literally, you know, a sheepdog thing, mop looking thing. Crazy. Anyways, I'm trying to think what else. I loved stray cats. I had a lot, like, you know, a couple of different stray cats that I'd take care of. And I always tried to fix the birds when I'd find the birds on the road. Hey, oh my gosh, my friend. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, my friend. That's crazy. He just looked at me and he's like, hey. It's cool. I'm gonna have to get a hold of him. I totally forgot about him. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I never see people that I know. Like, hardly ever. So that was really cool. Okay, anyways, trying to think what else. He was in his Jeep. I have a lot of friends that drive Jeeps for some reason. Like, I don't know why. Like, people that I know are like big Jeep drivers in my world. But okay, let me think what else I was gonna say to you guys. I'm not gonna be too much longer. I really need to get off here pretty soon, but let me check your comments and look on here. I'll read you guys' comments real quick. All right, let's see here. You said, hi, Maverick. Hey, Helen. Thanks for coming back to my chat. If you guys are new, my name is Maverick. I do relationship coaching, and I am a badass psychic. I'm a legit psychic. I've had all kinds of gifts of prophecy. Unfortunately, I dreamt of my dad exactly the year before he died to the day. My dad died on Mother's Day. I found my father dead, and I dreamt about it. And I have the original entry, like the actual journal entry, because I'm a writer. I've been writing since I was 7 years old. And I have the journal with the date. It's printed on the bottom of the journal entry. And it, like the dream. My dad came back in my dream. He came back from heaven, by the way. Like, this was a different dream. So he came back, and I was at the house, our home, where I found my dad dead. And he said he made it to heaven. I saw a huge rainbow in the dream. You said, wow, your room has positive vibes. Thank you. Okay, let me see here. Somebody wrote, I'm in Washington State. Go Washington. Yeah. Tat asks if I'm single. I am single, but I'm not interested. Someone said, no, Tat, Maverick has a twin flame. Oh, snap, man. That's hilarious, Sean. It's funny. Someone else said, marry me. Bro, I don't know you. I'm not interested. First of all, I don't even know you. So I'm not interested. I'm not gay. I don't get down like that. You said, that's a cool hat you're wearing today. Thank you. Someone said, I bet you're an Aries. I'm an Aries Pisces. That is true. Okay, let's keep on going here. I'm still looking at your guys' comments. Your hair looks amazing today, sir. You're very handsome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let me keep on going. You said 60s? I have a past life in the 60s. I was a revolutionary in a past life in the 1960s. So growing up, I was obsessed with Martin Luther King stuff, by the way. Like anything, yeah. I like different stuff like that. Let's see here. You said interesting. Okay, yeah. So I was born with both parts, yes. I'm a biological hermaphrodite. Let me see here. Another person says, are you single? Again, I am, but I'm not interested. All due respect. So I'm focused on my career right now. I'm focused on building a company. And I love stoicism, by the way. A lot. Like, I listen to a lot of stoic philosophy. You said, Maverick, I love your hat a lot. Thank you. You said you sound like you're from Southern California. My family was born in California. You said, can I ask you what the biggest challenge is as a hermaphrodite? The discrimination. It's both a curse and a blessing. But that's what I would say my greatest challenge is. All right, guys. I want to say thank you, everybody, for being in my chat. And I'm going to come on tonight. So I'm doing my psychic card readings. All right. My psychic card readings at 6 p.m. LA, so Los Angeles, California time. These are my cards. Well, I have different decks actually, but yeah. So 6 p.m. I might come on early. If I do come on early, it'll be from 5. So I'll be working from 5. So I'll work at 5 and I'll work at 6, both 5 and 6 o'clock California time. But I'm gonna definitely guarantee 6 o'clock. So I just wanted to say thank you guys. God bless you. Thanks for your love, your support, and keep it real, folks. And just know you can do anything you put your minds to. Just keep your feet on the ground, one step, one day at a time, and have a vision. So have a vision, stay patient. You guys can do it. Vision is key. Like this, look, like this, a key, your vision. All right. Otherwise, you're like a ship without a rudder. So you keep on moving forward. I promise you guys will succeed with the Holy Spirit, with God's help, 100%.